Good morning. How are you doing today? I hope that you're having a good day. I wanted to pop on before I get started with my clients today and talk to you a little bit. Well, first I wanted to just check in and see how are you doing? How are you feeling today? Hopefully you'd say I'm fabulous, and that's great. But I have found with the people that I am dealing with on a regular basis that this feeling of overwhelm is a pretty prevalent one right now. Even if it's not all the time, right? It's coming up periodically for people. And I have to admit that it even comes up for me sometimes. There are days where I think, I just want to go pull the covers over my head and just ignore the world and ignore everything that's going on for a little bit. And that's my clue that I need to do a little more self-care maybe, or take care of myself. And, I mean, it doesn't come up often, it doesn't last for very long, but I'm human, just like everybody else, and can experience some of those things that are going on in the world. So if it's happening for me and it's happening with clients, my guess is that you might be going through some of this as well, or you might know somebody. So I wanted to come on and talk just a little bit about this feeling of overwhelm. There's just so much going on in the world right now that I think overwhelm can be prevalent. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. There's a lot of fear right now. There's a lot of mixed messages and a lot of things for people to deal with, trying to figure out what's real, what's not real, what's true, what do I do, what's tomorrow going to look like. We are just in a time of kind of upheaval right now. And even if that's not affecting you necessarily, it might be affecting some of the people that you know. So I think a lot of people are struggling with that overwhelm right now. Contributing to that might be, family. For a lot of people this last year, if you have children, trying to figure out the whole school circumstances has been, we've always been a homeschooling family, and I still have my youngest that's being homeschooled. But my middle daughter, who is in high school, goes to a small charter school. And school's been interesting this year because it changes. It could change monthly. What we think is going to happen isn't happening. They announce one thing and then it changes again. So it's been this constant trying to keep up with that, which has been a lot for her. And for parents, it's been a lot for the parents. So keeping up with family demands, life demands, work, career, maybe how you do your job has changed. And maybe you're not sure what that's going to look like. Maybe you've even lost your job, had to start a new career. Just the general state of the world is contributing to the overwhelm. And it's kind of hard to get away from all of that sometimes, right? We also haven't been free to move around and do some of the things that we might do. So our life could look a little bit different. No doubt there's just a lot more going on in the world right now. So there's a desire for a lot of people, I have found. Sometimes people are just waiting, right? Like, I just can't wait for things to get back to normal. Like, I want things to get back to normal. And I completely understand that feeling, right? It makes perfect sense to me that people would think that. Personally, I don't believe we're getting back to what we had was normal. And I also believe that we are going through collectively what we are going through for a reason. I believe it's necessary at the moment for us to be going through this. I think that humanity is going through a dark night of the soul, a time for us to really evaluate things, take a look at things. What's important to us? What do we need to change about the world, about our interactions with people, about ourselves? It's really time to go deeper and take a look at some of those things. And that is not always a pleasant thing to do. Coming out the other end of it, things can be so much better, right? We grow, we expand, we come out at this higher vibrational level. But going through that, sorry, a bird just flew up. It's talking to me. Right outside the window. I love it. Nature's carrying on, right? And maybe some of our stopping is helping nature and Mother Earth to carry on. But anyway, I do believe that what we're going through is necessary, not always pleasant at a time, but we can come out the other side of it better than we were before. So how do we deal with these ever-changing times? How do we deal with this overwhelm? And how do we make this an opportunity really for us to kind of grow? Um, I've found for myself and for my clients that the first thing to do is just stop. When you're feeling overwhelmed, stop. Take a breath. We can't think straight when our brain's going a million miles an hour and we feel like we've got so much to do. We're not tapping into guidance that might help us. We're not always making the best decisions. So stop. Kind of breathe for a little bit. Put things away. Turn off the TV. Put your phone down. Unless your children are young and need something, disengage for just a little bit to kind of find a little bit of that center and that balance again. And I've been talking about through this a lot recently about self-care and taking care of ourselves and stopping. And then figuring out, you might need to say no to some things. In this last year and a half, I've said no to things I wouldn't have said no to before. Things I would have gone, are you crazy? Why are you turning down that opportunity? Why are you saying no to this? I'm saying no because I don't want to do it. I'm saying no because it doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel genuine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not the right time or it's not the right thing for me. So can we say no to some things and figuring out what you can say no to? There's probably a lot more that you can say no to than you realize. And so for me, sometimes I love to, I've got people I follow on social media. I like to keep up some with what's going on in the world. I didn't really used to do that so much, but I've been doing that more now. But there are times I need to disengage. I need to say to myself when I go to hit the button on Facebook that has news, I'm not going to do that. That's not in my best interest right now. So what can you say no to? The other thing too, I'm looking at some of my notes. I want to make sure I don't forget some things. What's good in your life right now? Tapping into what's good. Stop, breathe, say no to some of the things and look at what's good. What can you do? What's good in your life? Really, where you focus your attention does have a big impact about how you feel. So focusing on that. And also when the feelings are coming up, if we're going through this dark night of the soul, stuff's being dredged up to be cleared and to be released. So don't push it back down. Give yourself that time away from everything to feel the feelings. Now, there's a difference between feeling them and getting stuck in them and staying there, and feeling them, allowing them to come up, taking a look at them, unpacking them a little. What made me feel this way? What's causing me? When was the last time? Does that bring back something from childhood or some, unhealed wound for me maybe that's being triggered? So how can I take a look at that, feel the feelings, and maybe say, is there some things to learn around that? And that's what I've been doing a lot, I have noticed in my private sessions with private clients. We've been doing a lot of, I think I'm starting to call it spring cleaning. Maybe it's because it's spring and it makes sense. But that deeper clearing, digging down at deeper levels and tapping into what's going on at a deeper level so we don't keep experiencing the same feelings and the same triggers over and over and over. It's an opportunity to do some healing. So we've been doing some deep diving. We're diving into some ancestral work from their life, from whatever's going on, but also some ancestral work. And if it's something that resonates with them, even some past life work to kind of do clearing at a deeper level. And if you're like, okay, that's just crazy talk, then ignore that part of it and listen to the rest, right? So wherever the person is, that's where we're going. Hang on just one second. I've got to grab something. Also wanted to show you something that has to do with this. A client brought me this the other morning and gave it to me as a gift. And I don't know if in the light you can really see. It's amethyst, but it's got a red tip to it. It's called, I think it's called a sacred stone. It was called a couple of different things. It's like 7 different crystals in here. So if you utilize essential oils or crystals, stones, I used oracle cards, whatever it is, going for a walk in nature, hot baths, drinking a nice cup of tea, whatever works for you to be centered, grounded, and say no. Sending you much love and much light, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.